When I think about finding happiness, I think about being 20 years old and so depressed. And I knew that I had to find a way out of that depression. And if I didn't find a way out, if I didn't find happiness, I would find my own way out. And I knew I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that to my dog. I couldn't do that to my family. So I started searching for happiness anywhere and everywhere that I could look. I started looking for it in plane tickets and in big cities and new experiences in bigger and bigger achievements. But all I found was emptiness. I would find beauty everywhere else, but I couldn't find it within me. And that's when I came to terms with a really unfortunate truth. Happiness is not in plane tickets. It's not in new experiences. It's not in big cities or big achievements. It's within you. My name is Ethan Jewell, and welcome back to Feel Your Feelings. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to be reflecting a little bit on my own personal journey, trying to find happiness, looking absolutely everywhere, how I still look for it today. But instead I look for it with a new perspective. And that perspective is the fact, and it's a very unfortunate truth, that happiness is already within you. And until you find it within yourself, you will not find it anywhere else. You won't find it in other people. You won't find it in flashy achievements, in money, in things, in experiences. Until you find it within yourself, you will keep searching and searching and searching. So there's a lot of common beliefs when it comes to happiness. It's like, I'll be happy when I have more money. I'll be happy when I travel. I just need to find the right person, the right city, the right job, and then I'll be happy. Culture pushes this narrative. Social media and advertisements and hustle culture tell us that we always need more. You need to travel while you're in your 20s to find your happiness. You need to get your big job in your 20s to find your happiness. You need to find the love of your life while you're young to achieve happiness. Happiness is viewed as something to obtain, as something to get. You're not enough as you are, so you need to find this happiness. That's just not the case. These things can bring moments of joy. Yes, I'm not saying that external achievements and people and things are bad. The opposite. But if that's where you're trying to find happiness, you'll fall short. So I set out to heal myself from outward causes. I want to share my own story with that. I remember being 20 years old, so depressed. I was so depressed. I felt like I wasn't going anywhere. I was just upset all the time. So I set out. I said, I am going to find happiness this year. So I started looking, and I booked a grand tour of the United States. Some of you might know I make music. So I started booking shows left and right. And I planned out this awesome tour to go and play all of my favorite cities and stop in national parks on the way. And I was going to get out and I was going to find my happiness. I was going to find it on hiking trails in national parks. I was going to find it playing music. I was going to find it in these big cities. I was going to get happy while on tour. I traveled coast to coast with one of my best friends, playing music, living the dream. I mean, genuinely, I can't think of anything better than that. And yet, I found myself arriving at national parks after playing shows for weeks. I would look out at a beautiful view. I would watch a beautiful sunset. And I would feel emptiness. I always felt like there was supposed to be more. I kept searching. But I wasn't finding anything. Because I wasn't looking inside. I was so busy. My eyes were always on the horizon. My eyes were always on what's next. My eyes were always on the next sunset. I was so busy trying to find that next good thing that I wasn't focused on the now with myself. I was so focused on trying to find that happiness, trying to find that peace within my mental health that I didn't realize it was within me already. And I know it's cheesy, I know it's cliche, but it's the truth. If you keep searching out there, you're going to lose track of what's inside. So finally, I had to go home. I had to face that silence, and face it I did. Oh my goodness. I didn't find happiness out there. I didn't find happiness in national parks. I didn't find it in big cities. I didn't find it on road trips. And suddenly I was back home and I was alone and I was still so depressed. And in those moments of quiet, in those moments of solitude is where I started to do the actual work. And that is what you have to do. You have to have moments of peace, moments by yourself, moments where you face that loneliness, where you face that sadness, whatever is rotting inside. You have to have moments where you face those feelings. And you understand that you have the power to heal within you. So I started taking time to myself. I started to journal. I started to go on walks. I started to eat better. I started to talk about my feelings. I've been to therapy extensively. I kept creating art to get those emotions out. I leaned on friends. I talked to them. I created support groups. And I started to feel better. Because there was nothing to find out there. It was already here. I just had to create systems and create a place where I could heal, where I could sit with my feelings and heal. And that's a difficult yet powerful realization to make. It's something all of us have to realize in order to heal. The healing happens during those quiet moments. It doesn't happen in grand moments. It doesn't happen while you're out looking for that happiness and that healing. When you're looking for it, when you're out searching, you're so busy that you can't have those quiet moments to heal. That you can't look inwards, that you can't take time to heal your heart. I mean, if you broke your leg, would you keep running? Would you keep running as fast as you can towards some goal that you're not quite sure, or would you rest? Would you rest your leg and let it heal? In the same way, when you're struggling with your mental health, are you going to keep pushing forward and looking for bigger and greater things, waiting for that grand moment that you're going to heal magically and suddenly? Or are you going to sit and rest and feel your feelings? There is no grand moment, and I'm sorry. There's no magical eureka and suddenly you're better. No. It takes time. And it takes time within those quiet moments. You see, inner happiness is sustainable. It isn't based on circumstance, like all of those external things. Yes, they can bring you momentary happiness. I'm not going to deny the fact that experiences and people and everything out there those are amazing things. Don't get me wrong. And they will bring you a temporary place of happiness. But when all the noise fades down and you're back by yourself, you're going to get hit with those same feelings. So finding that happiness within yourself, it's sustainable. It helps you cope with tough times better. It helps you hold on until the next thing. It allows you to enjoy the present moment rather than constantly chasing the next thing. So use self-compassion. Reach out to professionals, get therapy, journal, meditate, help shift your mindset. So I invite you to reflect with me. And I ask you these 3 questions. Are you chasing something external in hopes that it will make you happy? My next question is, what would it look like to find joy and stillness? What would that look like for you? And my final question is, when was the last time that you felt joy and peace? Not because of what was happening around you, but because of what was happening within you. So I challenge you. Stop looking for happiness everywhere else. And I don't mean to cut yourself off from the world. I don't mean to stop experiencing things, but I mean to take quiet moments, to sit with your feelings, to feel them, and to create a safe space for you to heal. By doing that, you become more familiar with your feelings, you become more aware of your feelings, and you become more aware of what you need to grow. You can travel the world, chase every dream, and still feel lost. But if you learn how to come home to yourself, that's where true happiness begins. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Feel Your Feelings. If you need help feeling your feelings, you should check out my music on all platforms under the name of Ethan Jewell. I almost guarantee it'll make you cry. Also, you should shoot me a message on my Instagram at jewelboy with an I underscore and let me know what you thought about today's episode. So thank you so much for feeling your feelings with me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for understanding that outward and external happiness, yes, can bring momentary satisfaction, but to truly heal and to truly find joy, you have to look within. And as always, thank you for feeling your feelings. I'll see you next time.